Great listeners are great learners, right? Well, hear this. Zookle has the cheapest textbooks with up to 70% off. You can even rent them. With a lowest price guarantee and free delivery for orders over $50, the only question is, what are you waiting for? Apart from the end of your podcast. From Shakespeare to marketing to essay writing to video production and everything in between, check out Zookle. Use the code ZooklePodcast for $5 off. Zookle.com.au.
You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hitchcock, and you're listening to the weekly Betoota News Bulletin, brought to you by Australia's favourite chocky bicky, Tim Tam. Grab some Tim Tams for the chance to snag a golden Tim Tam pack and win one of 3 wishes worth $100,000. Here are the top stories from the Betoota Advocate, Australia's oldest and most respected newspaper. Starting off, and the states of Victoria and New South Wales have introduced drastic new measures to curb violence towards paramedics and emergency response staff. The premiers have announced that to combat the violence, every ambulance will be fitted with blokes wearing tap-out shirts. Daniel Andrews and Gladys Berejiklian have said that they're recruiting tattooed blokes named Caleb and Kane who are completing community service orders for things like drink driving and public nuisance. Whilst assaults on paramedics are comparatively much lower in the state of Queensland, Premier Palaszczuk has already announced plans to send members of the Broncos under-19s for ambulance ride-alongs in a similarly styled program. And elsewhere around the nation, the much-loved Jim's franchise has announced a controversial new arm. The rapidly expanding company, which started with Jim's Mowing, has confirmed that they will be capitalising on the growing narcotics trade by establishing a Jim's Bags franchise. Jim's Bags, named after the small resealable bags made famous by drug dealers around the world, will be open to franchisees within the month, the company told our reporters. For around $50,000, a prospective franchisee receives a second-hand Subaru, a stolen Glock 17 semi-automatic handgun, 20 grams of uncut Hong Kong quality cocaine, 35 mobile phones, and territory control over their local area. Internationally this week, and it's safe to say that the royal wedding was probably the story that's grabbed most of the headlines. While many around the world were in awe of the emotive sermon from Reverend Curry, it was the coverage of the event by WWE veterans Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross that really blew many away. JR and the King were brought back together by Fox for an explosive session of commentary that saw the two refer to the Queen as the reigning champ. Although the pair were disappointed at the lack of human rubble and the fact that Thomas Markle Sr. didn't descend from the roof during the ceremony, they were applauded for managing to keep the shouting to a minimum. Greg Moss from the French Quarter texted the editor this week saying he was disappointed that the coverage didn't feature Meghan Markle breaking a chair over Prince Harry's head. Back home in Betoota now, and a Christian woman's hens night went into overdrive last weekend after one of the bridesmaids bowled a spare. A group of young women were out celebrating the last days of 19-year-old Peter Washbrook's life out of wedlock and decided to head down to the Bowlerama in the French Quarter to celebrate. After her engagement to a fellow churchgoer who dropped a knee just 44 days into their budding relationship, Peter wanted to go all out in celebration of her womanhood. And good friend Kim knew just how to turn things up. She bowled a spare which unbridled her pent-up ecstasy with a great shriek. Other bowlers were seen to wince as all the girls joined in the screaming celebrations. In other parts of town, a young couple have told The Advocate that they actually regret purchasing their first home after only getting 100 likes between the two of them. Proudly showing off their humble new 3-bedroom South Betoota home, Dennis and Amanda Munro thought they were in for a rainstorm of positive comments and a veritable fountain of likes. But the wellspring of well wishes had run dry for the pair, with friends stingy in their likes and others pointing out that Amanda's father, a local cardiologist, must have had a hand in them buying a house. Young Dennis said to our reporters,
"Buying a house when you're only 26 should be applauded, but everyone either ignored it or said Mandy's dad paid for it. Oh my God, he only gave us the deposit. He didn't actually pay for the whole thing."
And on the sporting front, the country is still wondering what the fuck Dylan Walker actually said to Curtis Scott. Manly star Walker was left with a fractured cheekbone after mouthing off at the young Melbourne centre. One Manly fan told our reporters that he reckons Walker must have said something real spicy to set Scott off, because no one really throws him like that these days. NRL CEO Todd Greenberg said to us,
"I don't know, I'm still trying to find out myself. But Jesus, it must have been crook."
I guess we'll have to hope it comes out sometime soon. Anyway, that's it for the news wrap this week. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast in order to get your weekly fix of real, unfiltered, and unwavering regional news. And make sure you grab a packet of Tim Tams to be in the running to find the golden Tim Tam pack and win 3 wishes worth $100,000. Follow the Tim Tam Facebook page for more clues to help uncover the location of a winning golden Tim Tam pack. Until next week, I'm Bruce Hitchcock.
Here's a podcast that can help you get on track and grow your business with some handy tips from the experts. The Business Growth Podcast, a series inspired by ANZ's work with the Australian Centre for Business Growth at the University of South Australia. Featuring some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and business owners like James Tynan, CEO of Startmate, David Worth, co-founder of Go Natural, Jodie Oster of Uber Eats, and more. Download the Business Growth Podcast series today to start building a growth plan that's right for your business.